All right, so part three. So we get to Stone Springs. From the outside, it looks like a very nice. Oh, what's going on with my hair? From the outside, it looks like a very nice facility. It has lots of big windows. It's a really big building. I thought it was gorgeous, actually. So I felt a little more at ease. I did. I felt a little more at ease, and I was like, you know what? It's like, by that point, I'd already been in the psych ward two other times. Um, for various reasons. I won't get into it, but I was there. Um, so once again, you go in, take all your jewelry off. They're talking to you, giving you your scrubs because they have to check your clothes to make sure of everything. I get into the unit, and it was co-ed, which is not surprising. That's pretty normal in these places because you do group therapy and you need the perspectives of both genders because it helps with empathy, it helps with group therapy, it helps with just a lot of things, because usually when I'm in those types of facilities, uh, guys end up being my best friends for some reason while I'm there. Maybe I just find them easier to talk to. I'm not really sure, but quite frankly, if you get to know me, you'd know that a lot of my best friends are men. So, yeah, I get there. I decided to do the patient advocacy card test on this nurse desk as well. So that was one of the first things I asked for. And they looked at me like, we'll have to find it, but we know they're here. Like, we'll find you and we'll bring it to your room. And I was like, hmm, thank you. Like I was pleasantly happy. Thank you. So I'm settling in and I'm getting in my room, whom I have a roommate with, and she's quiet, she's fine. I take a look around the room, hair all over the floor, all over the floor, like it hadn't been swept in weeks. I look at the glass on the window and it's smeared with handprints. I thought I saw boogers on another window. Like it looked like boogers were smeared on the glass. Alright, most of these facilities, they're cleaned nightly, top to bottom. Each unit will have between 3 to 6 people to clean the whole unit. They each take a task and they do it. No, that was not the case in this place. It was built beautifully, but it was dirty, disgusting. Like it was really fucking gross. Another thing I noticed, all the doctors that were wearing masks were wearing them either under their chins or underneath their noses. I'm sorry, but ever since COVID, I think we all know how to wear a mask. Number one. Number two, you work in a hospital. Why even bother wearing a mask if it's just tucked under your chin? Why? Because I wore a mask the entire time I was there because I was actually getting sick in the emergency room. I actually started getting a sore throat and I was starting only there for 3 hours. I woke up from a nap and I already had a sore throat. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I don't get sick. Like, I rarely get sick, honestly. I maybe have one bad cold a year. That's it. Even that wasn't really what I'd consider a cold. It was, anywho. So, while I'm in this facility, I'm getting doctors pulling me into their offices, trying to tell me that I have this mental disorder, I need to take this med, and da 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 da. And I told them, I already told you, I was a cocaine addict. What I experienced before with my mental health was a drug induced psychosis because I did just about as much coke as Ozzy did in the 80s. I was an animal. Like, honestly, if I talked to active cocaine addicts, it would be like a brag. Like, you could have never kept up with me. No one could. I had a friend that was deep in it at one point, and he's better with it now. And when he told his friends, dude, like, no one can keep up with her. No one. She's fucking insane. How she's still alive, I don't fucking know. Like, I almost overdosed more than once. Like, I felt my heart slow. I had to concentrate on my breathing. It was insane. So I was in a drug-induced psychosis for years because I never stopped doing coke. And then I went to rehab. And after that, everything really quieted in my head. I stopped hearing things. I stopped seeing things with the naked eye because what I would see were like almost like ghost movies playing in front of my eyelids. Like it looked like shadows. Sometimes it was more vivid than others, especially when I did coke. When I did coke, it was clear as day, but it was not in color. It was in black and white. So that all went away. So I stopped taking my meds. I felt amazing. I felt great. And I was off my meds for 6 to 8 months by that point, and nothing was coming up. I was doing great. I was working. I was sober. I'm still sober, by the way. Like I'll have like a beer, but I can stop at a beer now, which is really impressive. But I don't want to go down that slippery slope. But some days I'm just like, I just want a freaking beer. It's nice out. You just want a beer. But I do that sometimes. But I'm Cali sober, I guess you could say. It's like I'll smoke weed every now and again, but I did a lot back in the day, but no longer. And I told them all this, and that I was on those meds for that reason, and that's why those meds never worked. That's why I had to keep going back to the psych ward to get a med change because my doctor wouldn't change my meds for me. Despite all my pleas and begging, she would never change my meds for me. She would just keep upping my dose. And I told him flat out, I was like, I'm not taking those meds. Those meds that you want me to take are bad for my blood pressure. It says do not take if you have low blood pressure, which I have really low blood pressure. They say do not take if you have a virus, which I do. They say like they give you memory problems. They give you memory problems. Like, and I'm like, is that why I'm blacking out? Like, I don't think this is the problem with all people that have taken those meds. I don't think that was a side effect. If that was a side effect, they would have pulled that off the market by now. So I'm like, I don't think it's the meds. I'm like, but I don't want to take them regardless, so I'm not going to. Because I felt so much clearer. I felt, when I was on them, I felt foggy, heavy. I didn't feel like myself. I wasn't happy. Because what they do is the antipsychotics lower your dopamine levels or try to balance you out your dopamine levels, but then you can't feel happy because they're trying to lower them so much so you don't hallucinate. So then you have to take an antidepressant to bump it back up. Your dopamine, serotonin, or no, excuse me, that's your serotonin. That's the other thing. A lot of these antipsychotics, they don't want you to take SSRIs with them because they say that it'll interfere the effectiveness of the medication. And I'm like, so you want me to take the antipsychotic that says don't take SSRIs with them, and then you're going to prescribe me an SSRI? Are you sure you're a doctor? Where'd you get your license? I'm really confused right now. I'm sorry. Like, I don't want you as my doctor. And I told them, I was like, I'm not taking those meds for this reason, that reason, this reason, all the reasons I just told you. And they're like, what can we do to convince you to take these medications? And I said, you're going to have to prove to me that I'm schizophrenic. or bipolar schizoaffective, what have you. You're going to have to prove to me that I have those issues. And she said, well, we can't really do that. And I said, well, then it appears that I'm wasting your time and taking a bet. So perhaps I should just go home. And they went to go release me the next day. And to my recollection, I was only there for 3 days. But the next thing that I know, it's December. And like when I'm coming home and I'm like, maybe it was like late November. I'm not really sure. I don't even know. I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember because I remember I was like, oh, when did we even celebrate Thanksgiving? Because Shane's in the hospital for Thanksgiving. So we actually ate Thanksgiving with him at the hospital that he was staying at for his heart problems. So it was before Thanksgiving. It was like mid-November, early to mid-November that I remembered the date, and I'm like I want her to take a fucking lie detector test to find out how long I wasn't home for, because I'm like, what happened? I was there for 3 days. Why is it now this time? Like, I don't know, maybe I just lost track of my days. I'm not really sure, honestly, what happened, but it was just really freaking weird. Like, next thing I know, it was like early to mid-November, and I was like, what the fuck happened? Like, I'm looking around, I'm like, it's like my first fall in November. I'm like, the leaves changed. Like, because I was looking outside the window just about the whole time that I was in Stone Springs. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? What the fuck is going on? Like, I have no idea. So I get out, I come home, I'm trying to get closer with Teresa and Shane, trying to do everything right, be the good daughter, go to work, save up my money, send, just do all the right things. And that's when I really started noticing me losing even more time. And I started to track every minute at that point. I had set an alarm for every minute. And I'm like, because honestly, I was like, I need to see this for myself. Like, I need to track this. I need to investigate this. And this is the best way I know how, by tracking it minute by minute. So I set an alarm on my phone for every minute to go off. And it was like that for a little while. I'm not sure how long. Maybe 15 minutes to an hour. And then I would literally sit there and I'd watch the clock jump minutes at a time. And I'm like, I'm looking around, I'm like, what the? And I'm actually like recording my face during a lot of this, and I posted a lot of those videos. So I did that experiment on the floor, and then the police called me in for a TDO because Teresa said that I threatened her life. When I didn't, I actually asked a question, or was it me? Asked the question, right? But the question was asked, what's going to happen if you kill your parents? And Teresa freaked out and said, you threatened my life, da, 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 da. And I'm like, I am not dumb enough to ask that kind of question on a recorded video, know that it's on that video, and then post it to the internet for people to see. Not that kind of fucking question. I'm not, no. So she calls the TDO on me, which is a temporary detainment order. So 2 police cars come to pick me up from the house with the TDO, which they did not tell me about. They told me what was happening, and I was like, all right, I'm going to pack a bag. How many days should I pack for? I asked the officer. He said, 2 days. I was like, clearly you have no idea what you're talking about, so I'm going to pack a bunch of clothes. So I packed a bunch of clothes. And, I get in the back seat of the car, and that's when he tells me that he has to handcuff me. I was like, what? And he was like, well, actually, you're getting in the back of the police car because this is a TDO, not because your mother is requesting that you're going to a psych ward, but because you have a temporary detainment order. And looking back, I'm like, so basically, you had, as a police officer, a person with basically like a warrant to be detained for psychiatric evaluations get into the back of your police cruiser without telling them why or showing them paperwork. So you could have been an off-duty police officer with a vehicle dressed up as a police officer, and you could have essentially kidnapped me. So that was against the book. That was wrong. And they handcuffed me. Look at me. Look at me. I'm like, I didn't fight it. Honestly, I was like, you know what? I've been to psych wards before. Like, this is gonna be fine. This will be a breeze. Like, like I'll just prove everything like I did before. Like I'm a good person. I'm bubbly. Like, this will work. So I'm just sitting there with the handcuffs on my wrist, just like in my own little world. I was like, it'll be fine. I'm confident. Like I'm, excuse me. Like I'm a sane person. Like this shouldn't be like difficult. Like it's a psych ward. They're there to help you. I thought naively. And I get to the hospital. The police officer that brought me there takes the handcuffs off me. The police officer replacing him, whom I call Swollen Broken Weedle, handcuffs me to the bed with a lot of force, might I add. The handcuff was strangling my wrist, but I was too stubborn to say anything, so I was just like, I'm tough. I got it. Don't worry. And I'm looking over at him standing at the desk, and I'm like, look at him. That patch on the back of his head. Looks like his head is swollen. Looks like a weevil. But you would fall down, and you wouldn't get up. I bet I could take you. I didn't say on this out loud, obviously. And I'm not threatening a police officer. I'm like, you're not a fucking police officer. Like, I could fucking kick your ass. Like, get the fuck out of here. And, I don't know, man. I just thought it was funny. And I'm like, you sit there as a psychic and you're like, it'd be hilarious if you could read my mind. Like, if you heard that, that'd be so funny. That'd be so funny. But, I was babysat the rest of the night. They brought me all the paperwork. The nurse, just wanted me to sign on every single fucking thing just as soon as she read it. She didn't want me to read through anything at all. She gives me all this, reads everything off really quickly. And now I know that I should have just asked for it all in writing for me to sign in person. Because I read through it afterwards and it said that whatever medical expenses that were there before in the state would be paid for. I'm like, what medical expenses were you talking about? I'm like, that's a question right there. Like, why would that be in there? Any previous medical expenses would be paid for, like, out of pocket by me? I'm like, what? So I'm like, have I been to the hospital without my knowledge? That's a good question, because I don't remember. I have gaps in my day. I don't remember things. I don't know why I don't remember certain things, and I don't know why I sleep through things. I don't know why. Yeah, or do I? That's the question, isn't it? But so I get shipped off to Poplar by Swollen Broken Weevil. I get there. We get to the facility. He brings me inside. He gets inside. He looks at me. Oh, I left my handcuff keys in the car. Be right back. He's walking out. I'm like, wow, police officer that doesn't have his handcuff keys on him. Seems like he's really good at his job. Just, give him a raise. I say that to the guy standing there with the metal detector wand, and he looks uncomfortable, and I'm like, bruh. Really? He comes in, takes the handcuffs off, and I'm like, bye. Get the fuck out of my face, essentially. So the guy admits me and takes me to this back room. All the multiple locks and everything that's there, for the multiple entries, make sure no one escapes. Takes my picture. I'm like, okay. And that makes sense. It's when they hand out medications, so they know they're giving it to the right person. I'm like, that makes sense. They put me in a room and they give me food and they're like, wait here. We'll be right back. A woman comes in with a clipboard and asks me questions for 5 minutes. That's my evaluation. I'm literally sitting in that room for an additional 20 minutes for an admittance to a psych ward. That's crazy. You go to a psych ward, you literally get integrated into the unit as fast as possible, so you get to know the schedule, so you get to know the people that are there, the nurses. You put everything in your room. You do all those things. But I was sitting in that room for so freaking long and I had to pee. So I get out the room. I go down the hall. And I'm sitting there. I'm standing outside this room where I see the guy that brought me in. And I look at his computer screen. He's filling out a questionnaire. Like a medical questionnaire for me. I know it was for me because I'm the only patient that's being admitted at that time. Because there's multiple doors open and I'm the only one there. Not asking me any questions. Like, I know what a medical questionnaire looks like. Like, you do it by yourself at the Wheeler Clinic in Connecticut. Wheeler Clinic, by the way, in Connecticut, you're amazing. I love you. I endorse you. You are superb, prime, peak, local healthcare. And I really appreciated you and I needed you and thank you. I did my IOP there after rehab and it was one of the best experiences of my life. So thank you. And I see that I'm walking around at this point. I'm walking around in a psych hospital freely out the room. There was no lock on that door. I'm just walking around this hallway. A woman sees me, doesn't say anything. She clearly works there. I'm like, okay. And I ask her, I'm like, do you know like when I can go upstairs, like when I can go to the unit? Because I know it's going to take me some time to get to know the schedule, get to know the people. I want to know my nurses. Like, I want to get integrated into this place. So what is taking so long? Because it shouldn't take this long. I don't know why I'm just sitting here. And she's just like, we'll send someone. Like, everyone that worked at this place was really freaking rude. I'm like, why are you so sad? Like, you need to be happy. Because this is a mental health care facility. And usually those people are friendly, at the very least, welcoming. So I was like, what is going on? And they eventually come by, scoop me up, bring me to the unit. They opened the door of the unit. first thing I see when I walk into this unit, people sleeping on the floors outside of their rooms. And I'm just like, that's not normal. That's like that. I know I sound like a pretentious know-it-all, and like that seems like a human rights violation because we as patients have the right for safety, comfort, privacy, and sleep is sometimes just as much medicine as actual medication is. Because if you go into these places, a lot of the times you haven't slept for a week or two, usually leading up to you going to a place like that for various reasons. And it's usually the first time that we feel safe enough to sleep. Usually, it's the first time we feel like we're in a place that allows us to sleep or gives us medication to sleep. And come to find out, we're locked outside of our rooms all day. All day. During programs, they say. Meanwhile, the programs that they're talking about, there's 3 or 4 that happen throughout the day. And it all depended on your therapist or nurse that led the class or the program. I can literally count 2 that were worth listening to, that were genuinely good. But then again, I trust no doctor or therapist in Virginia. You know what? I'm gonna have a part 4. Because believe it or not, while I was there, I started seeing so many things that were wrong that I took notes. And I basically took evidence in witness accounts and wrote everything down that I could that I felt was relevant. And I'm going to go grab them and I'm going to start telling you guys everything. Because this place, like, honestly, the cleanliness level was worse than Stone Springs. Hair everywhere, dirt everywhere. There was garbage. There was a soiled, like, paper pants on the floor by the exit where I was actually laying. Because I laid on the floor for like a few hours because I was exhausted. I just wanted to sleep, and there were no couches. There's no couches in this place. There's plastic chairs, which were very uncomfortable because you can't lay down in them. But the medications they want to give us makes us so freaking exhausted because they give all of us. They were trying to give us all Seroquel, and literally we were all asleep, pushing 2 chairs together, crunching our bodies up, trying to lay down, just to sleep. But when you do that, there's not enough chairs for people to go around. So what do people do? They sleep on the floor because it's better for their back. And it's just like, you look at the floor and you're just like, I'm sorry, like I don't want, I don't lay on the freaking floor. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, I thought I saw a bug. It has a wing. I guess it was a bug. Oh, it's a dead bug. Okay. Weird. But this place was disgusting. Another weird thing before I go, we had to all share a bathroom and ask permission to go to the bathroom. They kept water behind the nurse's station, which is normal. That's normal. You have to ask for water. I get that. There was only one clock in the entire place, and that was behind the nurse's station. Why isn't there a clock in every room? Like in every day room? There's only 2 day rooms. Why can't I have a clock in a day room? Why do I have to leave the day room to know the time? It's really strange. But I'm gonna go get those books and I'm gonna start spilling some tea.